losing points because you don't really know how to negotiate or navigate discussion boards because students haven't been trained. And to be honest, none of our faculty, except for those of us who already teach online, none of them know how to use the discussion boards either.
It's the module 1 outline.
Yeah, module 1 outline will tell you what's expected for your first case presentation. You did receive your case, correct?
Correct. I just, because I was going through my email yesterday after class, I just not seen it. I ain't even know I had it because I just got an iPhone, so I ain't even know how to get to,
Yeah. Now here's the deal. Which case did you get?
Hold
I have it
on.
written down, but it's not in front of me.
It's about it's a 80-some-year-old woman, I think.
Okay. So the first module, see, other people should log on because we're going to talk about this. So I'm going
It
to pull
says the
up.
file cannot be accessed.
What?
It says the file cannot be accessed for the module 1.
Oh, well, I'm pulling it up right now. I just clicked on it out of the course room. Did you go to the course room to do that, to the portal?
Yes, sir.
Did you click on module 1 outline?
Yes, sir.
I just did that and it popped right up on my computer. That's strange. Well, if need be, huh?
My case is the about a woman named Estella Luna. She's 83 years old.
Okay, so we'll work on getting you the outline. But I'm looking at the rubric and here's what it says to talk about. You're going to look at the history of social work, social welfare. Why am I having you do that when the EPAS is about diversity and difference, human rights, and policy practice, all of those things together? Well, here's why. What did you learn of the values of social work in Intro to Social Work?
I ain't gonna lie for that. It was so long ago.
Yeah, but what are the values of social work, Chris? Come on. You know this.
Hold on. I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, now don't give yourself a headache now. I'm just playing. Do some of these sound familiar, like dignity and worth of the individual?
Yes, sir.
Right to self-determination, privacy, confidentiality, all those things. So as you look at that, everything we do ethically and regarding diversity, all of that comes from our underlying values, like every person gets dignity. That's how we engage in diversity and those sorts of things. So the core values are there. Policies that govern social welfare programs impact everybody's life, but you're not doing a policy paper.
Right.
Here's what you're doing. You are looking at what policies might affect this person, and are they, for example, we have a president that says, oh, we're going to protect people, we're going to take care of Social Security, and yet he wants to pass a bill that will quit taking Social Security tax out of people's checks.
So how is it?
That's leaning on a violation of social justice or economic justice. So that's what you want to look at the case of Miss Luna. So there are any issues of diversity. What's her last name?
Luna.
And would that indicate she's probably Hispanic?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially the fact that her first name is Estella. So
right? So you write from the standpoint of what's the purpose of this presentation? Well, it's to learn how to introduce a case and be very clear about it. You'll do this professionally. Then you're going to give a case description, the demographics, the strengths and needs of the client. And then you're going to look at the values that surround this, like the dignity and worth, how we treat the elderly, um, all of those things. Plus, you start looking at, okay, what about social, environmental, economic justice, basic human rights? Well, what are the possible issues? This lady's 80 something years old. She's Hispanic. So there's, dealing with age. Is she disabled?
see, I ain't even see that part. Let me look. I just seen that it was there. I ain't had a chance to look at it yet.
Okay. So what are the issues with an 86-year-old?
They're older. They're they can't move as if they could when they was probably like 30.
Right. So what about their income?
They're who?
Their income, their money.
I mean, it depends on how what they did in their earlier life. Like if they had a good job and they retired
Right.
wealthy, or
So
it.
here's what you always want to know about elderly persons. They live on what's called a fixed income.
Yeah.
So whether it's Social Security, savings, whatever it is, they're not earning money anymore. What about health care for the elderly? How do they usually get health care?
And it through Medicare?
Medicare, yes. And Medicare has multiple parts. Part A, every person when they retire gets Part A, no cost. That pays for 80% of all your inpatient, your hospital, all of that stuff. It does not pay for doctor visits, nor does it pay for medication. For that, you have to get Part B. You have to pay for Part B. So, and do you know how your Social Security, you're way too young to know this. Here's how Social Security checks the amount you get when you retire is figured. They take the best 3 to 5 years of your employment over all the time you've ever had a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you a percentage of that. So that they give you, I think it's 40% of whatever that is. No, maybe 50%. So let's say you're a professor and you make a really good living. No, well, not really good, but I make okay, They're going to figure it on my best years. And if I wait until I'm 70, right now, at age 70, I would get a little over $3,000 a month from Social Security.
Wait a minute.
What do you think's going to happen? So let's think about Ms. Luna, and let's say, okay, her husband was, just a routine laborer making minimum wage.
Right.
What do you think he's going to get a month? Not going to be anywhere close to mine, right?
Probably, I would say probably at 1,000 or under 1,000.
Exactly. So that's an economic issue, economic justice issue. It's also kind of a social justice issue because what about minimum wage? if minimum wage is as low as it is now, somebody working 40 hours a week for minimum wage, how much do they make a month? Well, let's say it's $8, 40 hours a week. That's $320 a week.
So they making a little, probably like $1,200 a month.
$1,280 a month before any taxes or anything.
Yeah.
What's rent?
I'll say 650.
Okay. So now suddenly you're only going to get about $1,100, and half of that, over half of that, goes to pay the rent.
So you left with 550.
Right. Now, you have to pay to get to work. You have to have a car. You have to have a ride. You have to have some way to get to work. And here's what people don't think about. What happens if you get sick and you're a minimum wage worker? Do you get paid?
No pay. I mean, it depends on what job you at. Cause at 7-Eleven, we get paid 6 days off.
Right. Right. And that's good. That's different. So when you start thinking about it, you start looking at it and going, okay, well, wait a minute. This is an issue. Here we are looking at these things, and this just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Right.
So when we start looking at the module, these are the kinds of things I want you all to learn to think about, because as it goes along, social, environmental, economic justice, what side of town do people of color usually live on?
The bad side.
Well, certainly the less economically successful side.
Well, yeah.
And then another thing is, what policies would affect this lady? We've already talked about Social Security, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things we need to change is how we go about dealing with Social Security, that sort of thing. What is ecosystemic theory?
I ain't never heard of that word a day in my life.
Oh, you have too, because I've said it in class. Come on. What is systems theory? I know you've heard that.
You said who?
Systems theory.
I heard of it. Hold on. Matter of fact, it's in my notes somewhere.
Okay. So systems theory basically says that all of us are part of various systems. In your case, you're part of the Jarvis system, you're part of work, you're part of your family, and that's basic systems theory. Ecosystems, ecosystemic theory includes all of the larger systems. So
Makes sense.
you're part of a family system, you're part of the Jarvis system, you're part of the work system, but you're also part of the economy of Tyler. You're also part of the environmental issues around Tyler, like fracking and all those things that cause little earthquakes. So the bigger systems are the economic system, social justice system. We are all caught up in that these days. Each one of those larger systems. So when we say ecosystemic theory, if you look at an ecogram, you put yourself in the center, and then you start drawing circles for every system that impacts you. Make sense?
Yeah.
So one of the ways to do this is to draw this out about this lady, put her at the center, put her neighborhood, include all of those things. And then we want you to sum it up. So start a little bit each day, and you will be ready for next Friday or so.
So that assignment is the presentation one that's on September 4th, right?
Yeah, I got to look at the days. I think it auto adjusted to a Friday,
Yeah, September 4th.
but it should be Thursday when we have class.
Okay.
So next Thursday, you're going to present your case, and it should take about 15 minutes or so. Talk about this lady, get to know all the issues for somebody this age, for this culture, all of those things, and you will be fine.
I got a question. So, for instance, I got to go to work next Thursday. How would I do that?
I thought you were off on Thursdays where you could have class.
No, not because, see what had happened. Reason why I say that, because next Friday is my mom's birthday, and I already took off for that day.
Oh, you think your mom is more important than me?
I mean,
Yes, she is. You don't even, why did you even pause to answer that?
because I was like, Mama, it's my mom's birthday.
Yeah. So, what would Friday work better?
Sure.
Okay. I will change it so that it'll change. I'll make a note to change to Friday. And that way everybody has a little extra time and it should be good. Okay, man. Makes sense what we're doing?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, so you actually it answered everything that I needed to know, because I was like, huh? At
Okay.
first.
Now, here's the other deal. Be sure you're doing the weekly things. Use the PowerPoints and, give some thoughts about what that is. And what that'll tell me is you're looking at the PowerPoints and you're thinking about what it means to be a professional social worker. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay, man. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take care.
You too.